A war on coal is a war on middle-class Americans.
He'll keep his war on coal going.
This Kentucky congressman says the federal government has singled out and punished the coal industry.
And literally bankrupted many of these companies. And I don't understand it for a variety of reasons.
Okay, so let's dig into coal's complex decline and try to understand it, starting first with this basic fact.
Certainly, if you want to do something about climate change, you have to do something about CO2 emissions. Coal's the natural first thing that you go after. It's the low-hanging fruit.
The war on coal is basically a perception that federal actions are killing the coal industry, from tax credits for wind and solar to regulations requiring power plants to reduce emissions of toxic air pollutants like mercury and arsenic. And then there's the Clean Power Plan.
A plan 2 years in the making, and the single most important step America has ever taken in the fight against global climate change.
It's the first ever federal rule to limit carbon emissions from existing coal-fired power plants. The Clean Power Plan is now on hold while legal challenges to it are heard, but it has contributed to a strong feeling in coal communities that the president is out to destroy them.
Any war draws sides. And so you're either for it or you're against it. And I think maybe a war on coal is a bit of a misnomer, because a lot of people who are, even working in the coal industry, are concerned about climate change. But certainly any regulation that affects coal will hurt people who are involved with coal. And that's the first target.
The Energy Information Administration estimates that U.S. coal production in 2015 will be 10% lower than the year before. Regulations do play a role, but that's not the whole story. Declining demand, coupled with the dramatic collapse of the coal industry, is a result of a perfect storm of factors. Like low natural gas prices. Coal analyst James Stevenson says we cannot overstate the importance of this.
We really can't. Natural gas has been a real game changer in North America. It's driven low power prices.
Here in the U.S., hydraulic fracturing technology
allowed extraction of natural gas in new ways that have turned out to be very cheap, that can outcompete a lot of coal.
With the glut of so much more natural gas on the market, its price has come way down, around half of what it was 2 years ago. And the price of renewables is coming down too, but that's not all. Over the past year, a string of coal giants have declared bankruptcy, in part because of bad debt.
The big bet they made was they would be exporting coal to other countries for booming economies. So what happened was in 2010, 2011, if people think back that far, they remember China was growing 10, 11%, Southeast Asia was growing leaps and bounds, and when you have a lot of electricity growth over there means buildings.
And buildings require steel. So in the early 2000s, coal companies invested heavily in metallurgical coal, which is used to make steel.
And that growth never occurred. So now they have a lot of debt that they have to pay down, and the markets are soft.
In the end, when it comes to demand for coal and the companies that supply it, utilities are the ones looking at all of these market factors and then making decisions about the future.
This is pretty much where the coal comes into our facility.
Black Hills Energy is a utility serving Wyoming, Colorado, and a handful of Midwestern states. It owns this coal-fired power plant and the coal mine next door. When the power plant was built back in 2010, around 40% of the cost, $100 million, was spent on pollution controls housed in this massive structure shown here. But this is not the company's model going forward.
We would like to build new coal-fired generation. We believe in coal, but under current rules, no, it would not be cost-effective for our customers.
In 2011, over half of Black Hill's total capacity came from coal. Today, it's down to around 35%. Over the past few years, the company has shut 4 coal-fired power plants.
Those plants were old enough, small enough.
In Wyoming, Colorado, and South Dakota.
Even we are switching to natural gas as a utility, despite the fact that we have that low-cost fuel essentially in our backyard.
The company recently purchased Source Gas, a natural gas company serving nearly 500,000 customers in 4 states. As the coal industry struggles, the low price of natural gas.
You might argue it's a Band-Aid on what otherwise might have been a pretty oblique perspective or view for customers in terms of their rates.
But for many coal communities, things already look bleak. Bev Bauman and Rick Swanson have been mining coal for decades. It's been good pay, steady work, and it's how they met.
Fact is, when we finally got married, people go, "You did? I thought you guys were going to stay shacked up forever."
It's been a good life for them, along with their friends and family, in the energy boom town of Gillette. But things are changing. I asked what would happen if coal went away.
We would look like West Virginia. There would be no work.
I don't think the people around here really know what it's like to be hungry and without a job.